There is a big problem for Manchester United, but guess what? By the end of this video, you and I will have figured out a solution for it. Meanwhile, turn to your neighbor, left, right, center, up, forward, behind, and tell them we are Manchester United. It doesn't matter whether they support the beloved club or not. We don't care. We are Man United. Do you know why? We are the only team in England that has scored 10 goals and conceded none in 2 games. Beat that. Arsenal, beat that. I'll tell you, we've got issues, but injuries are a thing of the past, not anymore for Manchester United. Why not walk around swelling like you own the world? Because trust you me, we own it. 10 goals in 2 matches, that's the narrative you should be selling. 10 goals in 2 matches without conceding any. But listen, here's the problem with that. Everywhere there is a good thing, there is a problem embedded. And the problem is Eric Ten Hag has got some selection headache for himself because these 3 young lads are competing against each other. They are just fighting to prove to the manager that, you know what, it's me. That is Alejandro Garnacho, Marcus Rashford, and Amad Diallo. Now, Anthony is trying to sneak into the mix, but you know what? We are not falling for it. We had enough of Anthony. We're not falling for his whole penalty against Burnley and blah 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 blah. Not yet, not yet. He's still got a long way to go. He's not part of our problems. We know where he belongs in the bigger games. But Amad, Garnacho, and Rashford. Question is, who of those two should be starting? That is the debate we're having. But not before I give you some team news. Listen, Marcus Rashford, we know, fully fit. So all our forwards are fit because even Rasmus Højlund did return. Yes, he returned to training, and Eric Ten Hag has confirmed that he's going to be assessing him together with Mason Mount. I know most of you won't care about Mount, but we should care about him because Mount is rated by Eric Ten Hag, and his presence will push the people who play in his position to work harder. But also Mount has his positives when you don't have the ball, how he runs around and all. But I think the issues of us not having the ball and us being, so open are beginning also to be a thing of the past because we brought in Emmanuel Ugarte, who lives on grass, who lives on the ground fighting for every ball, no crossing, and he can also play as a left back. It turns out because we saw him and Toby Collier switching left back. Against Barnsley, Eric Ten Hag and his tinkering. That's what he loves to do. But let's get into the debate of the show tonight. My question is, who of these three should be starting? Rashford, Ahmad, and Garnacho. Here's the thing. First of all, these 3 players rather, have been pushing each other in ways you cannot even mention. Marcus Rashford in 3 games has in 5 games has scored 3 goals and assisted once. Yeah. Garnacho in 5 games has scored 3 goals and assisted 3 times, but of those, he has only started twice, one of them being in the Carabao Cup against Barnsley. Amad Diallo has played 4 games and scored once and assisted once, but we know how exciting Amad Diallo is. Now, question is, if Eric Ten Hag is going to select 2 of those to start on the wings, where they always do, with Højlund, when he's 100% fit, or even if it's starting up top, who should that player be? Now, for me, here's the thing, and it's very difficult, to be honest, to stop a player. First of all, we know that I think among all those players, the first priority for Eric Ten Hag is still Marcus Rashford. Rashford is among the top 10 players who have scored the most goals for Manchester United. He's in the class of the Wayne Rooney's and in terms of how many total goals he has scored over the time he has been there in the Premier League for Man United. So he's rated as a legend in the making at Manchester United. Now, that's why even for Eric Ten Hag, the moment he stayed at Man United, he knew he had to deal with him. And I was listening to Rio Ferdinand, to be honest, and he was saying that Rashford is beginning to look happy. We all know when Rashford is happy, he wants to play football, we know the talent he can have. He can, come. I'm not really so moved by his natural talent, but he has talent. Let's not refute that. You won't base on my likes and dislikes. For me, I'm for smart players, who use their body and skill, but also the brain. I feel like Rashford doesn't use so much of the former. Yeah. But the thing is, the Rashford is is highly rated, and when he's fit and there, for as long as he's there, Erik ten Hag will be pushed to start him. He's proven to be a project for Ruud van Nistelrooy to work on him and try to improve him. That's the thing. So Rashford will be starting, I think, certain games. And the fact that he has been scoring now, he's in the rhythm, he's in the mode. It's difficult now to pull him off and start benching him. Even for Erik ten Hag, logically, it's difficult to do. Amad Diallo too is having his time. He's having his chance to prove himself. He's on a roll. Even when he doesn't have the best of games, Amad Diallo does things that no other player in Man United does. The way, first of all, he's left-footed, the way he takes on defenses, the way he's aggressive and bold, the way he comes down the game when you're leading, when he gets the ball and passes back, the way he's confident, he's growing in confidence by the day. For me, you cannot stop him. You cannot pause him now as a manager. You need to just keep putting him there for him to get more and more playing time so that he gets more and more confident. So for me, sad as it might sound, because of those two reasons, if it were up to me that I'm the manager, there is no way I would start Rashford ahead of Garnacho. Not in this life, not now. But because of what I've told you, I think the two starting forwards for now for Erik ten Hag are going to be Rashford and Ahmad. And Garnacho will still come off the bench. The beauty is he has proved to be an impact player who comes off the bench and still affects the game and still scores a goal, makes an assist. So he's still an important player off the bench. And we know that a player like Marcus Rashford, it's difficult for you to start him on the bench and bring him on and expect him to to affect the game. So my feeling for me is that the starting 11 for Manchester United will still have Garnacho on the bench and Ahmad starting with Marcus Rashford. Now, that's where I come to that lineup. So, how then am I expecting Manchester United to look against Crystal Palace? He is my probable starting 11. There you go, on Saturday, 7:30. Onana, of course, returns to take his place in between the sticks. Nusel Mazraoui on the right because he's fit. Delete and Licha in central defense. These two were arrested. Him and Kobe were arrested for Licha and Kobe were arrested for the Barnsley game. Dalot, of course, on the left. One of the only of all the three players who maintained their start. Then in the middle, it's time now for Manuel Ugarte to start taking his place. So my feeling is Ugarte should be in the middle and Casemiro, because Kobe still needs to rest. I still think Kobe still needs some bit of rest. And I know he was rested, like we'll have a week of rest between the last game and our Saturday game trip to London. But I still think he can rest and come off the bench for Casemiro, because Casemiro is no longer a 90 minutes player, if you ask me, for a Premier League match with that kind of intensity against a team like Crystal Palace. If you recall when the last meeting with Crystal Palace, I think their now Bayern player, that is Michael Olise, was still there, and he ran through the middle like he was running down a street, an empty street. So I think Casemiro cannot handle the intensity of the Premier League for 90 minutes. But Ugarte, Casemiro, then Bruno in 10, Zirkzee up top, and wide go for. And I told you, if it were up to me, I would put Garnacho ahead of Rashford with Ahmad. But knowing who Erik ten Hag is, he will certainly put there Rashford. And quite frankly, I can't blame him that much. I can't blame him that much because, I mean, if he's performing, scoring goals, if he's looking happy, and there's football in him, if he's a team player, well, he's a Man United player, he can play. So for me, that's my probable starting 11 for that game. How then do I think we will perform with this team? I think we'll be more compact, we'll be a bit solid, more solid in the back. We will be more difficult for Crystal Palace to penetrate. We will be, if we are effective, I think we will create chances because Crystal Palace love to attack and attack and attack. So we will keep them at bay, I think. We will tame them. And I still think Man United will have a big chance to win this game. I'll give you my prediction for the game tomorrow. But for me, that's my Prebo 11. That's what I expect to see from Eric Ten Hag for that game. You can drop down a comment and let me know what you think. Between Garnacho, Ahmad, and Marcus Rashford, who should be the two starting wingers? Of course, Hoyland could come off the bench. If he's 2 feet, he's certainly the better option to start in number 9. Because I can imagine, I reckon he has been hungry to come and start games, seeing Zaxi getting the love that he was once enjoying, getting it from the fans. Certainly, he must be willing to go. Then when can I be fit again to come and push because I'm the preferred number 9? So the competition is beginning to be seen. To be honest, you're clearly beginning to see the competition for places, and you love to see it. But the usage is important. But after that statement, 7-0 obliteration of Barnsley, I don't see us capitulating again like it were last season, where you win one game convincingly, then you drop in the next. I feel like we've grown to the 7-0 win. We did not fumble into it. We played for it. We've grown to get to that level. And trust you me, if Ten Hag ball continues like that, hey, a lot of you will swallow your words. You will swallow a lot of your words. My name is Webb. This is the United of Sport. Like, share, and subscribe.